I've done most of the things that
Okay, can the candidates introduce themselves by name and party, starting
Brett Hallahan, Squelch Party.
Hi everyone, I'm Nancy Liu. I'm running to be your next ASUC Executive Vice President with Student Action.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Franco. I'm currently one of your ASUC senators and I'm running as the Executive Vice President as your independent candidate.
Hi everyone, my name is Leon De Leon and I'm running for Executive Vice President with CalServe, Cal Students for Equal Rights and a Valid Education.
Thank you, candidates. We have 3 questions for the EVP candidates. You will each have a minute and 30 seconds to respond and we'll let you know at the 15 and 30 second marks. You can take a seat until we call your name.
Thank you.
I'm very sorry about that. And also just a note, we'd like you to keep your answers on point. If it's not relevant to the question, I may interrupt you to make sure you get back on track. The order for this question is Chris, Leon, Nancy, and then Brett. Chris, Leon, Nancy, Brett. This year's Senate has made strides to prevent excessively long meetings, yet delayed appointments have still posed a problem. What makes you prepared to lead Senate meetings and facilitate efficient meetings that feature minimal partisanship? What makes you prepared to lead Senate meetings and facilitate efficient meetings that feature minimal partisanship? Chris, you have a minute and 30 seconds. What makes you prepared to lead Senate meetings and facilitate efficient meetings with minimal partisanship?
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Franco. I'm your Executive Vice President candidate. So one of the things that I believe the EVP's job is to be the chair of the Senate, right? Facilitate dialogue between all members of the Senate. And as an independent, I feel that it fundamentally changes the way folks have dialogue, not only inside the Senate, but outside. This year, I have been experienced in having dialogue with both CalServe, Student Action, and all independents. And when it comes to these appointments, I feel that my ability to connect with folks on and off the floor will allow me to facilitate that dialogue effectively and efficiently. Also, my experience in
You got it, Franco.
Yeah.
No, Franco.
My experience right now as a senator, since I've been able to connect with all folks, I feel like I really understand the parties right now and how they work and their framework. So using that knowledge, I would be able to appoint senators to their respective parties using the mechanisms that our previous executive vice president has used to make sure that ahead of time we're communicating with senators on what they want so that when we come into the meeting, everyone knows what they want.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, again my name is Leon De Leon and I'm running for Executive Vice President. This year I'm currently a senator and I was elected to advocate for what my community wanted and the concerns and issues that they face. And I'm actually constitutionally mandated to represent 5 student organizations on campus. I am able to distinguish this next year as your Executive Vice President by being a neutral facilitator and fostering healthy dialogue between all sides of the party. I was able to do that this year as a current senator, even though I came from the CalServe party, by working well with the independents as well as communicating and having dialogue with the other political parties such as Student Action. One way that I'm able to make Senate meetings more efficient and effective next year is have forums outside of the Senate when it comes to controversial issues so that communities are not silenced and that a lot of people are able to express their opinions and that when senators come into Senate that they are informed and they have a very educated vote when it comes down to Senate. I think this is very efficient. It saves a lot of Senate time. Also, when it comes down to to fighting for what students believe, I just want to further say that we do belong to UC Berkeley, and that when we take stances on issues or controversial bills, that we have student power and student activism, and we're rooted in a lot of things like the anti-Vietnam War, and such as the divestment from South African apartheid, and even last semester when we did the 5,000 walkout on September 24th.
Thank you. Nancy?
Hi everyone, again, my name is Nancy Liu. I'm running to be your next ASUC Executive Vice President with Student Action. This year, I was the Associate Finance Officer in the ASUC. As Finance Officer, I was able to audit the groups, really look deep into their budgeting, and what I saw was that politics really tainted how much funding each student group gets. And that's not right. The ASUC is here to represent every single student and every single student organization. I want to make sure that in the Senate, we have the efficiency to make sure that we're allocating all the funds towards student groups if they're putting on a great event. It shouldn't be about politics. We should be advocating for every student and making sure that they're getting the Cal experience. One of the ways I want to make sure that the Senate is efficient is appointing the senators into their committees as soon as possible before day one, so that when they walk in, they know all about their committees, they know exactly what their duties are, and how to perform as a senator. I want to make sure that we are training them so that they understand what their duties are as a senator, how to continuously communicate with their communities and the groups that they're representing, so that throughout the process as senator, they're able to inform them about issues, ask them if they need more additional funding, and also make sure that they're constantly represented in the ASUC. As Executive Vice President, I will take it upon myself as a duty to be the neutral voice, to take the stance and make sure that we are being efficient, that we're representing every student and every student organization. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time is an illusion. That said, I understand how those with more limited perceptions may consider it to be a problem. Therefore, I shall propose moving the meeting place of the Senate to a small pocket dimension of my knowledge, in which the laws of physics are not entirely consistent, let us say, so that a meeting might take place in mere seconds that normally might take 3 or 4 centuries. In addition, I find that the partisan bickering and meaningless speechifying that so often categorizes our Senate meetings would be nicely minimized through a policy of banishing those who would waste our time to the dark dimension, from which neither light nor hope may escape. Also, I'd install a timer of some sort. That is all.
Okay, so order for the second question is Brett, Nancy, Chris, Leon. Brett, Nancy, Chris, Leon. In the past year, the Store Operations Board has voted to issue an RFP and has reversed itself numerous times in regards to the Bears Lair food court vendors. How prepared are you to be a voting member of the board, and how would you resolve the impasse? How prepared are you to be a member of the Store Operations Board, and how would you resolve the impasse? Brett.
I can answer this question in 2 words. Very and fire.
One of the responsibilities of the Executive Vice President is to sit on the board for the Store Operations Board. The SOB is extremely important in funding the ASUC so that it can host its operations and make sure that all the student groups are getting the necessary funding it needs. So the Store Operations Board makes sure that we bring businesses that are socially responsible, that are generating revenue, and that are building the communities at Cal. For the recent RFP, one of the new introductions for the businesses is Saigon Eats. I would support businesses like this because not only does it generate revenue for the ASUC to fund its operations, to fund the student organizations that it's supposed to be representing, but it also promotes local businesses. We want to make sure that any business we bring onto Lower Sproul is attracting students and making them aware of the Berkeley community. I feel that as Executive Vice President, it is an extremely, it's a big responsibility to make sure that every student group is represented. Again, as Associate Finance Officer, I've seen the budget. I've seen how important it is at this time of budget crisis that we make sure that we are providing all the students with the money that they need so that they can put on the programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris?
All right, everyone. So this year, I've been able to serve as as an ex officio member this year on the store operations board. And some of my experiences on that board have been institutional memory of all the conversations from all those closed session meetings. The trouble of the RFP process was that it was an untransparent and inconsistent practice. And as being an independent senator, I was able to connect with all senators to unite on the front to pass a bill that would take a stance against the store operations board decision. And so right now, I would, in the future, I would be teaming up with Erin Gore, the Associate Vice Chancellor of Budget and Planning, bringing her into the conversation to look at our California, my apologies, the Commercial Activity Agreement, which is the foundation of how the ASUC works its businesses. And in the future, we would need to reestablish the RFP process, which would reflect what businesses should be on Sproul, which are what students want and desire. And that can only be done if we establish something that is consistent and transparent for students. And of course, revenue is very important to our students, and we can only make those businesses successful if we have a process in the store operations board that can be done.
Thank you.